Welcome back, students, to our CSE 3200 Android development course for Yukon Stores. We're going to begin Chapter 3 in this video. I believe that there's only going to be 2 videos and they might both be relatively short, let's hope, but here are the objectives. We are going to learn the activity lifecycle, and we won't be doing any coding here, but this is a very big concept. And then we will get into Logcat, which is relatively new. It's been updated since this book has been published. And we're going to use it to log our activity life cycle, and we can see ourselves enter each one of those stages that we learn about in the activity life cycle. Okay, let's go. All right, so this is the activity life cycle. There are 4 states. Those are the ones in the huge orange boxes. We start off in non-existent state. We must get there from non-existent state to the created state by calling the onCreate method. That is the one method of the 6 that you see here, onCreate, onDestroy, etc., that we have used so far. And I don't know that we are going to be doing much else with the others except for logging them, and if we have bugs, we can go back to how we log them and see if we can find where that bug is happening. So to get from the non-existent state to the created state, we're going to call onCreate, but there are a couple other states you need to be aware of. If we want to go from created to started, we are going to call onStart. That is happening for us automatically because these methods are already written for us, and if we want to do anything different, we're going to have to override them. We're kind of forced to do that with onCreate, but it's more of an option for the others. So to get from the created state to started state, we call onStart, and finally to get from the started state to the resumed state, we're going to call onResume. So in this direction, I think it's fairly easy to remember the name with the state because they are the same. To get to created, you call onCreate. To get to started, you call onStart. And get to resumed, you call onResumed. Now to get back, the names are different, but they're kind of paired together. So let's start up here. Kind of the opposite of creating something is destroying something. So if I want to go from the created state to back to non-existent, we call onDestroy. If I want to get from it's in the started state to the created state, instead of starting, we stop. Feels like opposites. And instead of resuming something, we pause something. So to get from resumed state to started state, we call the onPause. You can see the directional arrows there. They're kind of light, but you can stare at that at your leisure. So we also have these little boxes around these states. So once we get to a created state, we now have an instance in memory. So the memory starts here, and all 3 of these states, they have that memory, they are in memory. And this is where we have a visible lifetime. So it might be, the one thing that might be a little bit confusing about this is like, how is this resumed? It feels like started should be like, we're ready, we're going, we're active, but it has to do with I could start something and it's just not interactive yet, and then if I want to be able to interact with it, well, that's a different screen. So it's going to be like, this is where I can interact with my views, and this is like active, but I can't interact with it. You don't always see that, but it's necessary because we might have like a split screen. We might have one window overlapping another, so we could see the things back here, but until we click on it and make that the active window, it's like we're going to take this from it is started to resumed, and the thing that was in front, we'll take it from resumed to started. So those are those 2 states. And there we go. We have learned about the activity life cycle. So we're going to cut the video there, and in the next one, we are going to start in Logcat and logging these messages, logging a message for whenever we enter any of those states. All right, see you there.